Todd Talks.
One of the best parts of meditation practice and mindfulness practice is being able to start at a very favorable or comfortable spot or position. So, for example, when you do a standing meditation or simply stand up nice and tall in a nice direct posture, a nice comfortable posture, or I say sometimes in classes is dignified posture, meaning you're standing up tall, you're dignified, like a little bit taller than you used to be, but you're also relaxed. But what's nice about that is that you're beginning a practice, even if it's just a short practice session, with a very peaceful, calm structure. So, for example, let's say right now you go outside, you find a nice, comfortable, quiet spot, and you relax. You relax the whole body. You stand there nice and tall. You very delicately hold out your arms like you're holding a big energy ball, and you're breathing in through your nose softly and slowly, letting the oxygen and air go down through your body and circulate through all the cells in your body, and then you exhale it back, sharing it out with the world. And you do things, there's all different types of meditation practice, right? But you could do one where you're breathing in gratitude and breathing in the beauty of all things, and then you're exhaling out all the beauty of all things to all beings, so that you're sharing peace and love and calmness and harmony and all that good stuff. You're breathing it in and you're sharing it. It's a simultaneous thing that happens, that occurs. But the point of starting in a meditative attitude as well as a meditative position, literal physical position, is that you're starting. It's a great starting point. So one of the things that I find to be very beneficial is to not only do a mindfulness practice, but to do a gratefulness practice. So you can do this really any time, but it certainly works really, really well before bedtime, at nighttime. You could do it lying down before you go to sleep. You could do it standing up before you go up to go to sleep. But I just want to be clear, it can be done anytime. You could do it in the morning, early in the morning. You could do it midday. You could do it standing, especially in nature. Nature is just extraordinary. There's so much beauty and so many miracles in nature, but you can do it anywhere. But I just find it to be helpful at night. And there's a couple different reasons for this. And let me explain the nighttime thing, especially bedtime, is that you're going into hopefully an alpha state where you're going to be relaxing your whole body, your brain, your body, your cells, everything's sort of simmering down so that you can kind of recuperate from the day, right? And you're preparing for the next day. And we all know there's dream states that can occur, right? But nonetheless, right before you go into this dream state, you're basically marinating in your dream state for hopefully several hours, right? Is putting into your psyche, into your consciousness, into your brain, into your spirit, into your soul, positivity and gratitude. So what it looks like, it might be like I just lay down relaxed, or if I'm doing it outside, I might sit up on a step or sit up in the grass or sit up on a rock, or if I'm laying in bed or whatever, is relaxing fully and trusting the whole body to relax, to trust that your skeleton system and everything knows how to support itself. But the key here is relaxation. And that's why I like doing it before bed, because you can lay down in a comfortable position and just relax your whole body, and breathing in through the nose and exhaling slowly and just relaxing and allowing all of the joints in your body to expand. In fact, imagine that you have a little bit of space going between each of your joints to expand and relax while you're breathing gently. And you sort of have this very gentle smile on your face because you're relaxed. A very pleasant feeling throughout your body. You're relaxing every muscle in your body. And then you put your mind at ease by allowing it to graciously go through your life and developing gratitude for all things. So, for example, you could be grateful that you can hear. You can be grateful that you can see, that I can touch, I can taste. I can be grateful for the people in my life. You know, it might be your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It might be your friends, your cousins. Go through the list of people and don't judge, don't criticize. And even if people pop up that might not be so favorable to you, I think that's one of the best parts of even prayer life too. If you're religious, to pray for other people, is the wisdom is clear that you pray for and wish well all beings. We don't want anybody to feel suffering or pain or discomfort, right? Or if they do, we want to make sure they want the same comfort you do. So no matter who pops up, you show gratitude toward that. And you just give gratitude throughout whatever you've had throughout the day, or maybe perhaps whatever you're feeling now, or whatever you sense for the future. The idea is that you present some kind of gratitude. So gratefulness is a tremendous, tremendous power that most people underestimate. And it's extremely, extremely beneficial and has a lot of energy behind it, because think about it. You've heard the term attitude of gratitude. Well, think about it this way. It's like, how does it feel to let go and feel happy and proud and grateful and just so, man, I have such thanks and such ease for something as simple as, let's say you're drinking a glass of water as a metaphor, is that I'm drinking this glass of water and it's just, I'm so grateful for this glass in my hand and to taste this delicious fresh water, and I'm so grateful that it's going to nourish my body and my cells, and just to have that attitude is far different than taking things for granted, such as, whatever. You don't even think about things through the day, right? You just kind of whiz past it. Or even worse, you have the opposite of gratitude, which is ungracious. You don't care. It doesn't matter to you. There's no reason to give thanks. It's a different way of looking at it. It's a complete opposite direction. There's a lot of greed and hatred and violence and discord. There's so much negativity in that trust me, an attitude of gratitude can be truly life-changing. It really can. And it's very, very hard. In fact, I think it's one of the hardest things in life. Now, it's easy for some people. There are many people we know that find it very, very easy to be grateful. It's just sort of their natural state. Others have to work very hard at it, and most of us do, myself included. There are many times where, it can be very challenging. It's to be grateful in situations that might be less favorable. I mean, look at global or worldly affairs going on. You hear about things. How can you remain grateful in that? Or if you get a bad medical report, or you're dealing with stressful issues, it's very challenging, but it can still be done. So I'll give you another example. Let's say you get into a argument or a disagreement with somebody, and you might say, well, and it really gets you upset, and you can't sleep, and, you're angry. Oh, how can I be grateful in a situation like this? Well, you need to use your imagination. You need to use your creativity and try to imagine using gratefulness as a tool here, a beneficial tool too, very beneficial tool, because you can do it. That's the key here. This isn't something that you can't do. It's in your purview to do. You can do that very, very easily, as a matter of fact. So I'm just suggesting to try gratitude practice, especially as a base, as a grounding base. So even that argument you have with somebody, you could say, well, and again, for religious folks that are more religious, that let's say you believe in God, you might say, thank God for my ability to discern right from wrong, or thank God that I can I can communicate better with this person because of this argument, or thank goodness that you're helping me see more clearly about this person, about this relationship. Or even better, I have such gratitude that I'm able to see how I've maybe not done so well in this argument or situation, and being grateful for that. That's an example where you're taking an attitude of gratitude for yourself, like how I can be a better person. We can always improve. All of us can always improve. There's always a better way to look at things. I will say this: it's absolutely with certainty that if you do change the way you look at anything, those things change. And you could take something, for example, and it's hard because you could take something like violent, like say some horrific violent act. Well, how do you find any gratitude in that? Let's use that as an example. Let's take any situation in the world or in life that's very violent. Maybe somebody gets killed or murdered. You have any gratitude for that, right? I mean, you try to be somewhat creative. Maybe you're grateful that other people weren't hurt, or maybe you're grateful that you have the ability. This helps me a lot. I'm grateful that I have the capacity to share love and empathy and apathy and caring and nurturing for the people in the world, even if I don't know them or I don't know who they are, that I have the ability to share that energy or love or prayer or wishes or whatever with people. I'm grateful for that ability, and I know that I have more capability than ever to do that, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that I already said that I'm grateful for maybe more people weren't hurt, or I'm grateful for the prospect of finding a solution to that violent problem because it's needed. I mean, there's violence in life sometimes, and there's always a cessation of that violence. There's always a way out of that violence. So maybe I'm grateful for that solution to whatever that violent situation is, to prevent it. Or maybe I'm grateful for being part of the cure, part of the solution. Meaning, maybe I'll participate in trying to open up a free consultation online thing to help people that are struggling with XYZ. You see what I'm saying? So gratefulness can expand out as a positive energy. It's kind of like if you had a line drawn, and everything on the top of the line is positivity. It's what I call God level energy. It's going up higher, is towards God, towards heaven, right? Toward the heavenly realm. It's beautiful, peaceful, brighter, bluer, wonderful energies. Where you go down below the line and it gets darker. It gets gray and then eventually black, dark, deep, evil, bad, right? What direction you go. Well, gratitude is way up there in the clouds. Gratitude is something really special. And none of us, if not most of us, I can't say none of us because some of us do, but a lot of us, I'll just rephrase it to a lot of us, don't do that. We don't do the gratitude practice as much as maybe we should. And I'm just sharing with you what helps, from a spiritual standpoint, a religious standpoint, a Zen standpoint, a Tai Chi lifestyle standpoint, and again, it doesn't depend on any type of religious belief. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, or a Taoist practitioner, Buddhist. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are a human being alive in this temporary shell of a body with the capability of doing magnificent, miraculous things. And that's what I try to help others find. That's really important to me. That's why I do what I do. So I challenge you to find that in yourself, and by starting with some kind of gratitude practice. And once you get into the habit of that, and that's important too, is habits. Think about how important habits are. Habits are really, really important. And you get into the habit of being more gracious, having more gratitude for things, you will change. It will change you from the inside out. That's one of the things I love most about teaching Tai Chi and Qigong is, and a lot of the martial arts stuff that I teach, is the internal aspect of it. Even judo practice, you think judo is a, external art. And although granted, some of it may very well feel that way with certain throws and chokeholds and other things, but that's only for competition or for potential self-defense. The real work is on the inside, the internal part of the art. It's using other people's energy against them. And the only way to really feel that or to redirect that is to be sensitive to it and to be able to feel the energy to be able to work with in the first place. So when you're competing in judo, by the way, you're bowing to one another, grateful, right? You're bowing gratefully, graciously. And you have rules that apply. You're grabbing each other's gi in a certain way, and you're working with each other's methods, and you're using trained throws and skilled throws on a padded floor. You're tucking in your gi and keeping neat and orderly. You're bowing when you're done. You're bowing to the ref. You're showing grace and gratitude, right? There's a gentle aspect to a lot of martial arts, and that's the most important part, whether it's religious, spiritual, or otherwise. But from a Zen perspective of balance and harmony, it's really important to focus on that. And that's why I wanted to share some of my thoughts about gratitude practice and what gratitude practice is. So there's your challenge. Your challenge is to walk away from this with an idea that I'm going to be more grateful today. And don't white knuckle it. Don't grip the wheel so tight and say, I'm going to force my way through this. It's more about letting go. It's releasing your grip. You see, we grip onto things so tightly that it's hard to let go. And most of our gripping, by the way, isn't even physical, it's mental. And the mental grips are more painful than physical grips because they're so surreal and so non-tangible. You can't see it, but yet they're so painful. So what I mean by that is let's say I have an attitude of anger. Let's pick a very sensitive subject, but let's pick a subject like immigration. Oh, dun 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 dun. If I have an attitude of hatred and distrust and anger and frustration and all that stuff, will that affect how I think about human beings in general? Of course it will. Now, if I have an attitude of gratitude, means that's in the higher energies. Okay, we're talking about love and respect and kindness and harmony and dignity and all that wonderful, juicy, wonderful, happy energy stuff. That's going to include gratitude. I have gratitude, an attitude of gratitude that will reshape how I think about this term, immigration. Now, all that means is that I'm putting myself in a mind state where I'm telling you it's going to be more productive. It's going to be better energy for you and for others to at least start from that position. It's kind of like a bowing state in judo. When I'm bowing, we're putting ourselves in a kind, I'm bowing to you, you're bowing to me. We're starting off on the right foot. So even a subject, even a political subject, which can get heated, it gets heated because people are coming from it from an angry standpoint. Or a dark energy standpoint, right? With hatred and frustration. And you might say, hey, Todd, what's up with that, dude? It's like, what's wrong with me being pissed off about immigrants, that type of thing. And so, well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's you feel what you feel. I'm just challenging you to think a little bit differently so that maybe you'll be less stressed about it and you'll be able to make a little bit more assertive decisions around it. So, for example, back to the immigration thing, that maybe, if you have a kinder approach to it, you might be more specific. You might say, I'm scared. Well, what are you scared of? I'm scared that somebody dangerous might come into our country, and that means that they might get into my town and maybe eventually hurt me or my family. That's a different discussion. or you could say, maybe if you're a little kinder, you might say, if you put yourself in a kinder state, that is, not necessarily kinder in general, but you say, I wonder what it's like for people to come into this country, to immigrate to this country, and find a wonderful life. I wonder what that's like. You see, I'm just challenging you to just slightly tweak the dials to think about it. Now, again, you might say, "Screw you! I want to be pissed off," and I don't care what anyone says. I think it's wrong. Well, that's fine for some people, and perhaps I'm not talking to you specifically, but if you are still listening, I'm assuming you're listening because you're still listening. I'd say just challenge yourself. Just consider an attitude of gratitude before you get angry, before you get assertive about a certain principle. Now, I personally think one of the biggest problems in life in general is that we don't listen to each other. We don't open our hearts. We don't open our minds and listen to each other. We lead with primal emotions like anger and violence first, and that's a very dangerous notion because that never ends well. It doesn't end well for anybody. And I'm not taunting a potential, live peacefully or die type of thing here, because I'm okay with anger and frustration and worry and all that stuff is innate in our human hearts, and I think it's very powerful if used correctly. If somebody hurts me or my family, am I going to be angry? You're damn right I'm going to be angry and protective, and I want to protect me, my family, and those I care about. We all do. We want to protect ourselves. That's what I love about self-defense, by the way, is you're able to defend yourself if you need to, but you're not using it as a principle to attack others. You see the distinction there? It's kind of like I have it there. It's a tool I need in case I need to defend myself, because there are evildoers in life. There just are. There are wrongdoers and evildoers. There are people that do intend on causing harm. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact of life. So you're wise to consider that. Now, best thing is avoidance. Try to stay away from trouble. Stay away from danger. Put yourself in positions or environments that are going to be healthier and more helpful to you and your family and those you care about as best you can. You can't always control it, right? But you do have some control. But trying not to lead with using self-defense as violence or preemptive attacks and things like this. So what do I do with things that really concern me and really piss me off? What do I do with that? All I'm saying is that putting yourself in a meditative, mindful position first helps you at least prime the tank first with a calm, reductive energy, meaning you're starting in a much more calm energy level. And that's going to put you in a position to make better decisions, to think more clearly, to think more calmly. And remember, you're not only being kind and loving and nurturing to others, but you're also being kind and nurturing and loving to yourself. And I think it's important to understand that you're helping yourself as well as the rest of the world. So that is all I have to say about that, is that you challenge yourself with gratitude. And it's my opinion, is one of the most incredible powers out there, is having or imploring or implementing, I should say, an attitude of gratitude, of trying to show some gratitude of whatever it is you have. And just try it for a week. And it's not that hard. Right before you go to bed, just relax your body, relax, lay down, relax your mind, and just start running through your mind all the things you're grateful for, no matter what it takes. Like, promise yourself that you're going to do that no matter what. And if you fail after 2 minutes, go right back to it. If you fail the second day, go right back to it. Don't feel bad about that. Habits are hard to form sometimes, especially good ones. But it's very simple to do. as I'm I'm driving while I'm talking through this, but I could look right now and I'm thankful for this machinery I'm driving in. I'm thankful for gas. Might be expensive right now, but it could be worse. Could be a lot worse. I'm still thankful. Gosh, I'm driving in a vehicle no matter what the gas costs, right? I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for visiting with my father that I did. I'm grateful for my family that I'm heading to. I'm grateful for the food I eat today. I'm grateful for you listening to this. It goes on and on. So sometimes I'll drive and I'll change how I feel because I'm thinking grateful things instead of thinking negative things, which gets you scared and nervous and all bound up. And that's the high blood pressure lifestyle. Nobody really needs that. So give it a try. Give mindfulness and alertness and meditative states a try for sure, no matter what, right? All that stuff is good. But think of gratitude and just explore and play with that and see if that changes you at least for a short time, and play with that. I want you to work on that and play with that. And just sort of journal it down. If not in your head, then maybe on a piece of paper. Journal it and see how an attitude of gratitude can hopefully reshape your life. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my podcast, going to toddzen.com, listening to Todd Talks on mitchellcreativegroup.com if you're in the creative realm. So I serve both communities. I love teaching Taoism and Zen practice and Tai Chi and Qigong on toddzen.com. And I've had the privilege of being a creative professional for 35 years at mitchellcreativegroup.com, helping businesses and products and brands become better versions of themselves. I specialize in all that, and I do value very much all of your input, feedback, and support. So God bless you, and I look forward to talking to you soon. I'm Todd, a lifetime artist and passionate creative professional with over 30 years of incredible experience. A wellness, martial arts, Zen, and spiritual teacher, imaginative entrepreneur, and honored husband, father, and grandfather. I'm driven to helping others achieve their personal, professional, and spiritual best. You can find me online at toddzen.com or mitchellcreativegroup.com. Thank you.